31 over the Dallas Mavericks. We're here in the green room watching the game and eating.
This is
not surprisingly. Yeah, Kenny and Charles and Magic. First quarter impressions there, Magic?
Well, if the referees continue to let them play, it favors San Antonio all the way.
Yeah, they got a call from somebody saying let them play. They know 98 free throws is way too many.
How about Nelly getting tossed in the first quarter?
It was his own fault. Jeff Van Gundy's wrong because the guy gave him a tee and told him to sit down. So when the guy stays there, he's trying to show up the referee.
Well, what would scare me, Ernie? 33 points, my magic number. You can't get 30 if you're Dallas, if you're San Antonio in the first quarter. The only way you get 30 if you're taking quick shots in the first opportunity.
So you don't think this is a good sign that San Antonio again has a double-digit lead with a quarter in the 30s?
You give me a math?
Yeah.
But you know what I like about you? You drinking Diet Coke tonight, too. So I'm not mad at you.
All in favor?
Man, don't be giving Diet Coke no free pub.
All in favor of returning to game action with Marv Albert, say aye.
Nobody gets free pub.
It's Diet.
Ernie, just relax. You know what I find interesting that Charles would criticize our partner about obeying people, because Charles was always obedient when people would say to him, hey, Charles, keep your mouth shut, okay? Or Charles, go sit down. He did it right at the time they said it, on the spot.
Steve Claxton has come on for the first time, replacing Tony Parker as the second quarter gets underway. Ginobili puts the move on Bell. Rebounded by Duncan. Tim Duncan. 16 for Duncan. San Antonio with a 36-point first quarter, but remember they scored 36 in game one. They led by as many as 18. They led by 14 down the stretch in the fourth quarter. LaFrance. So the Spurs now lead 37 to 24. The team that has won game one has won the last 16 Western Conference Finals. Steven Jackson, the last winning team to lose game one, the 1986 Rockets. They won the next four and then beat the Lakers in 5. Finley, rebounded by Rose. Malik Rose, a major contributor here in the first half. In game one, he got an early foul trouble. Jackson with a whip pass, and Rose is fouled.
Another whip pass. They are just bringing those whip passes right out of the library tonight.
You know, there's a sensitivity here when whip passes are involved, but that was a great no-look pass. Yeah, well, why would you react then? Obviously, you struck a nerve.
I said it.
Okay, don't get
You're
too
both
sensitive on
very
it.
amused by it. Well, the NBA Finals will tip off June the 4th at 8 o'clock on ABC. You can log on to NBA.com or America Online, keyword NBA.com, for a look ahead of the potential matchups, including a statistical breakdown for all conference finalists. Love it live on NBA.com. You know, Jeff, I really enjoyed our conversation earlier today with Dallas head coach Don Nelson. Azar, obviously very busy, not able to make it, came about 10 minutes late. Don was very upset, and I believe that might have been a carryover to his attitude for tonight's game. Here's Sean Bradley, rejected by Malik Rose. And here's Rose spinning. Oh, he wanted to finish so badly as he went against Bradley. Off the steal, it's Rose. Ginobili on the front end. The Spurs are all over the basketball and lead by 17.
But again, leads against Dallas can disappear quickly because they are such an explosive offensive team.
In fact, Dallas has faced double-digit deficits in 11 of their 15 playoff games. They have been an excellent come-from-behind ball club. Steven Jackson goes glass. 45-26, biggest lead of the night. The French for 3. And here come the Spurs. Jackson knocked aside by Bradley. It will be San Antonio ball.
Steven Jackson was playing a beautiful game up to that point. That was an unnecessary shot right there, but go back a second ago, he had come down through a couple no-look passes. That time he got caught up in the emotion. He took a hurried three-pointer, which he did not have to take.
Rose, yes. Malik Rose off the bench for 13 points. It's a 32-12 run by the Spurs.
And I think Dallas needed a timeout 2 possessions ago. I'm surprised they're letting them play right through this emotion.
And yet this run began when Nowitzki sat down after picking up his 3rd foul. Timeout called by the Mavericks. 8:49 remaining in this first half. It has been all San Antonio.
We'll see that time the block by Rose. This time Rose comes right back, misses, but Ginobili with the follow.
Welcome back to San Antonio, and it has been a technical foul festival here in this first half.
Well, it started with Dirk Nowitzki, who was on the floor with 2 personals, and then wound up eventually getting another one to go to the bench. But there, Nowitzki reacts to the call. He's hit with the technical foul. Then Don Nelson receives his 2nd one, so he's ejected from the game. Nick Van Exel, after the offensive foul call, rolls the ball across the floor the opposite way where the official was. He's hit with one. On the ground, Bowen pushes off LaFrenz. He's called for a technical foul.
So 5 and all, count them. Here's the rundown. Joe Crawford in particular has been very active in this first half, and we're early second quarter.
And I'm not even going to talk about it because Charles just went at me so hard. I just have no right to my own opinion.
LaFrenz hits from downtown.
Remember, you're dealing with a future politician.
Plus, he must be getting into coaching. He's already buttering up the referees.
By Robinson. And the foul is called. We don't want your commentary to be affected in any way. Even if those guys are having a very difficult time preparing for their halftime stint by munching on shrimp in the game room.
Yeah. I'm just disappointed that we didn't stick together. He didn't stick together with his team. He separated from the team, TNT team.
The Spurs are now 20 for 20 at the line. We were talking earlier with Greg Popovich, and Azar was there. He did talk with Greg, and we asked, how will you approach the free throw shooting problem? Nowitzki obviously back on the floor with the 3 fouls. He said he wasn't even going to address it. He said there are other areas that we have to pick up. He said, hey, I know, as Zar, you mentioned right at the start, the Spurs are not a good free throw shooting team. If we get into a contest with them, we're not going to win. But tonight, 20 for 20 at the line thus far.
Well, at a certain point, you are who you are as a basketball team, and they were 26th in the NBA for the entire season, shooting just over 72%. So Pop knows that in the day of practice, they're not going to correct that as Rose is fouled going up on the 2nd shot opportunity. So he knows that that's something that they're not going to correct with 1 day off, but they could take care of all the other small things that led to the loss.
What a performance by Malik Rose, making it back from the injury suffered in game number 1. Tim Duncan looking for the foul call, and the Spurs did get it. Rose is now 10 for 10 at the foul line. Now, Malik is one of the better free throw shooters on this team at 79%. Rose with 15 points in 12 minutes. 51-29, San Antonio. The lob misfires. Wexton on the run. Wexton all the way. Donnie Nelson wants a timeout.
Now that is speed and quickness, going from top of the circle to the opposite end, turning the corner and making the layup on Claxton's part.
San Antonio with an 18-5 advantage in the second quarter.
And here we see an outlet by Robinson to Claxton, puts it into second gear, and finishes. He's one of the quickest players in the league from end to end.
TNT's exclusive coverage of the NBA Western Conference Finals. Brought to you by Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4s out there. And MGD, cold filter what you don't need, heat what's good.
From TNT. If nature selects you to be a cold-blooded killer, then that is what you are. Alec Baldwin.
What did they tell you?
Second Nature. See the world premiere Sunday, June 22nd at 8, only on TNT.
A capacity crowd, 19,000 here at the SBC Center in San Antonio. Quite a disparity tonight at the foul line. Mavericks have been there only 5 times. The Spurs 22 times, and they've hit all 22. When Rafe LaFrentz missed that free throw, that ended a streak of 51 straight by the Mavericks, who went 49 of 50 in game 1.
And I think one of the reasons Nahara is not played is because he missed that one free throw in game 1, and I think they have just deep sixed him because of that.
Eduardo Nahara is dressed for the game as Roger Bell not able to hit, and Jackson able to release. No one back. Steven Jackson extends to a 55-29 lead. But Eduardo Nahara suffered a 5 bruise in that collision the other night with Malik Rose, and he is questionable for tonight. Nash for 3. Rebounded by Duncan. And back comes Claxton. Claxton and Jackson in the backcourt now with Duncan, Robinson, and Ginobili up front. Jackson for Duncan. The tip missed by Robinson. Coming up on 6 minutes remaining in the first half. So Greg Popovich is thinking there is no lead that is safe, particularly against the Dallas Mavericks, although it is a 55-29 advantage. Robinson on the foul, but San Antonio has had big trouble holding on to leads in the postseason. They have blown double-digit leads in 5 playoff games, losing 4 of the 5 in Game 5 against the Lakers. They blew that 25-point lead, held on to the winners. Robert Horry's potential 3-point winner went in and out. And they were not able to hold on to what was an 18-point lead the other night. They see twice against the Suns, 2 games against the Lakers. But Game 5 was here in San Antonio. So they have had their share of collapses.
And Dallas can come back more quickly than most teams in the NBA, if not all teams, because of their offensive firepower and 3-point shooting.
Robinson not able to handle that lob. Here's Bell. And Robinson on the rebound. Claxton for Bowen. Offensive foul. Charging call against Bowen.
Mark, let me tell you, we'll look back here real quick and show you this little scuffle being broken up here by the officials. Go back and take a look at what took place here. The bounce pass. Here comes Bowen. We see the defense set in place. Bell plants his feet. Look and see if he's outside that restricted area with his foot. Tough to see if that left one is outside or not, but it doesn't matter because he was called an offensive foul.
And Bruce Bowen's got to be smarter than that to get into any scuffle when he already has 1 technical foul.
Williams called for the travel. Passed on the 3. And is looking to set up for a 2-pointer. Call for steps.
Well, let me tell you who's got a tough job right now is Don Nelson Jr., who's taken over because he's got to keep the belief in this basketball team that they can still get this thing done. This is not the first time he's taken over coaching this team. Back 2 seasons ago when his dad missed time because of the cancer surgery, he had a 13-8 record. Then last year he was 2-0 when he took over as head coach. The pass underneath the Speedy for the layup. But right now he's going to have a tough time keeping these guys believing that their head coach is in the locker room, that they still have a chance to win.
Foul is called. Claxton. Donnie Nelson son of head coach Don Nelson, making his 4th appearance in the conference finals. Got here with Milwaukee 3 times. That's a 3 for Finley. 16 points for Michael Finley. 57-34, San Antonio. Marv Albert with the czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Greg Sager, Gerald Miller working the sideline. Got the entire staff on hand. Ernie, Charles, Kenny, and Magic come along at halftime and following the game out inside the NBA. 3-shot clock for the Spurs. Duncan gets in the foul.
They get the second shot opportunity because Duncan got the offensive rebound. Here, as he flashes into the open area, you see Bell hit him on his left forearm as he's going up for the jump shot. He knows basket's good, and he gets another.
A very animated Tim Duncan, coming off the 40 points in game 1, has 19 and has been perfect at the line. He is 7 for 7 from the foul line. Finley with the step. Robinson had it slapped away by Bell, and it carried out of bounds. Last touch by San Antonio.
Went off of David Robinson's foot. As he was slapped down, it actually hit Robinson's left foot and rolled out of bounds.
Now Robinson will sit down. Rose is back. Malik Rose providing a major impact in this first half. Nowitzki, wild shot. He was trying to draw the foul. Tony Parker back on the floor. Bowen passed on the 3. Now Bowen is open from downtown. Rebounded by Nowitzki.
And that's the 3 Greg Popovich doesn't want. One pass out of a double team and a shot. He wants the ball reversed and then shot.
Foul committed by Rose. 13 fouls on San Antonio. Dallas with 4. Lopsided score here in the first half. The Spurs 60, the Mavericks 34. Nowitzki and another foul from Dick Pavetta on the call, and again it's on Rose. That's his second.
A little 2-man game they love to play in the elbow area on the offensive end of the floor. So this time, small passing to big and then small screening on big.
And now Dick Pavetta is saying it is a non-shooting foul. Nowitzki was ready to take the free throws.
Because Rose fouled Nash on the screen, even though that then bumped him in to Nowitzki.
Nowitzki only 1 of 7 from the field and playing with the 3 fouls, making 1 of 8. Foul committed by Williams as he and Rose got involved, so Mavericks are over the limit. Malik Rose back to the line, spending much time at the free throw line. 11 for 11. Malik came on strong late in the season. I mentioned 79% from the line. That was a career high this year. Reminder, tomorrow on ABC, it'll be game 3 of the Pistons and the Nets. Nets winning games 1 and 2 in Detroit. Finally, San Antonio missed the free throw. Coverage begins at 8 o'clock with the NBA Draft Lottery Saturday on. Nowitzki is able to finish Saturday on ESPN at 8. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Pistons and the Nets.
Jeff, let's go back to earlier in the game when Dallas made a substitution and get a timeout coming up. You mentioned that the only reason for the substitution was to get Duncan on Nowitzki, but on the other end of it, Did Nowitzki have to guard Duncan, and he has 3 fouls?
Timeout taken, 2:44 remaining in the first half. It has been all San Antonio. Still a long way to go, as we have seen in the postseason, when Dallas is trailing or San Antonio is ahead, but it has been a superb first half for the San Antonio Spurs. Dirk Nowitzki in early foul trouble, has not shot well, just 2 of 9 from the field. Tim Duncan with another sparkling first half, leading the way with 19.
And what Dallas wants to do right now is to cut this lead to a manageable number. Right now, 25. If they can get it 8-0 run, something like that, to give them some momentum going in and some belief at halftime, it's really their only chance.
Yeah, because you put a number up there and you say, look, get it to this number and it will give us a chance in the second half. You know that we can go on a 12-2 run anytime during the course of the game. We're capable of that. So get it back to a manageable number and then we'll attack it in the second half.
We're coming up on 2.5 remaining in the first half. Malik Rose. Dirk Nowitzki did not want to pick up number 4.
That's the problem. He's playing in the middle of that zone back there. They get it down the low post there, and he's backing away.
And they've got a double for him. If he can't play one-on-one defense because of fouls, they've got to do something to protect him.
Nowitzki is hit on a reach-in. Rose with his 3rd foul. Technical foul. Was he hit with 2?
I think he threw him on the first one because he walked out onto the floor, Mark. He come out on the floor. Del Harris ejected. They're upset that Tim Duncan is zoning off, not playing anybody. He's not getting out of the lane areas. What they complain is Donnie Nelson Jr. was complaining. Del Harris went out onto the floor. When you step out on the floor, they'll throw you out of there.
Well, Del will join the head coach Don Nelson back in the locker room. Yet another technical foul called on the Mavericks. Kind of a leisurely stroll, and he is tossed.
And thankfully, they have a number of assistant coaches over there so that if anyone else gets thrown out, they have people that can come down and reinforce the bench. Larry Harris has already taken Dell's feet. If Sidney Moncrief or Charlie Parker go, they have many people who can replace them.
There are 10 assistants left right now to go in. Just in case.
Well, this is what the Mavericks are hanging their hat on. They have been an outstanding come-from-behind team. This will be quite a task. 64-38 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the first half.
And that ejection had to happen. Joe Crawford made a good decision there. Hit him with the tee. Dell wanted to go, and he let him go.
Kevin Willis, who played so well off the bench the other night, has come out for the first time. Lob intended for Finley, last touch by the Spurs.
Jeff, you're exactly right. That was intentional by Dell. He went out. He wouldn't even say that much. Just kind of nodded, pointing to the ground. He knew he was going to get thrown out.
Nowitzki, it counts, and the foul. Foul committed by Duncan. Strong move by Nowitzki, who has to be careful. Did not want to pick up an offensive foul. And another technical has been called. As Ted Bernhardt tees up Kevin Willis. We have now seen 7 technical fouls, and that is a rare free throw miss by Steve Nash. One of the best foul shooters in the NBA, a 91% free throw shooter. And during the season at one point, he hit 49 straight, a franchise record. And over another stretch, he hit 47 in a row. Now Dirk Nowitzki to the foul line. Nowitzki in game 1 hit all 17 free throw opportunities.
Well, I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure what Kevin Willis did. Now, we're not right up close and you can hear any of the dialogue, but Kevin Willis, to me, looks like he's stunned that the technical foul was called. As we see players react sometimes during the course of the game, they make believe that it wasn't them, but I know him pretty well, and he looks to me like he's trying to figure out why he was called for the technical.
Ginobili weaving his way and finds Perry, who just checked in. Walt Williams handles. Adrian Griffin, who just came on. Nowitzki for three. Oh, hits the rainbow from downtown. Now the Mavericks are showing some signs with a minute 15 remaining in the half.
Couple quick buckets, Jeff. This could be right down around 15, like you're talking about. Going ahead down 15. They're at 20 right now.
8-0 run by Dallas.
And Dallas' zone has had effect on San Antonio.
Duncan is fouled. Basketball knocked down. Duncan again drawing the double, and he'll head to the line. Williams picks up the foul, his fourth.
Under the basket, 42 in the white uniform with the ball is Kevin Willis. And we're trying to figure out where the technical foul came from. It must have happened just prior to that, if it did.
Or he said something to Nowitzki. It looked like they may. I'm just guessing right now. I really have no idea. I don't even know what I'm saying.
I feel that way. I feel that way a lot of times. Actually,
I'm just really trying to make sense out of something that makes no sense. So
it's a good story.
Yeah, it may not have any validity, but it sounded good. Plausible, maybe.
65-44. San Antonio. Nash able to penetrate. Back comes Parker.
Why don't you give us another anomaly?
That was a good word.
Here is Parker. Jeff has been waiting all season to be able to inject that word into his on-camera opening. Half-minute left in the first half. That's a three-point attempt by Williams. 2-second differential between the game clock and shot clock.
And I like what Tony Parker did on the last possession. He stepped in and took a two-point shot instead of sitting on the three-point line.
That's why I like your suggestion. Wipe out the three-point line for the first three quarters.
Wait a second. Parker. Tony Parker has 10 points. Final seconds of the half. Van Exel. The San Antonio Spurs shooting just under 50% of the first half, and they lead the Dallas Mavericks 69-44. They've led by as many as 28. Tim Duncan with 20. Malik Rose 19 points off the bench. 13 coming at the free throw line. Let's go to Craig with Malik.
Well, Malik, for a guy that just 2 days ago was laying in this position right here on the court, motionless with a double stinger, you certainly have recovered well. With the x-rays yesterday and the MRI, when did you know you're going to play today, and how'd you prepare?
I knew I was going to play after game one. Once I got up, I started to feel a little better. Feeling in my arm started to come back, so I knew it was a better time before I got back on the court.
Marv mentioned the fact that you guys had double-digit leads 5 times in the playoffs, lost them, won only one of those 5 games. What do you have to do here in the second half?
Keep this double-digit lead, man. We don't want to let it get back and let it get back close. They have enough firepower on the other side to bring it close, so we just got to keep our defensive shoes going and get the job done.
Dirk Nowitzki's in foul trouble. Will you go at him or try to get him out of the game?
If I get the chance, I am going to go at him, but I'm not really a focal point on the offensive end of this team, so I just have to buy my time until I get my chance.
Great first half. Back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Craig. For San Antonio, that is a playoff high this season, with a 69-point total. 69-44 San Antonio. Coming up in a moment, Ernie, Kenny, Charles, and Magic. We'll be back.
San Antonio take a timeout early. Try to put together a run that's so when you enter the fourth quarter, you're down by 15 or less.
But what really hurt the Mavericks, Dirk Nowitzki picked up 3 fouls over the first 7 minutes. When he left, Dallas was down 17-14. When he came back, it was 47-26, and now Nowitzki called for the the traveling violation.
Jeff, you've had a number of creative and very imaginative suggestions, like changes for the game this year. What about if a head coach is ejected in the first half of a playoff game, he's allowed to return? He can say, I'm sorry to the official, and he's allowed to have the second half.
Only with a verbal apology, though. But I do think about this. I'm not sure there should be a foul-out rule in basketball. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Roger Bell able to finish. See, I would have thought you'd accept a written apology.
No, it's got to be verbal, he said.
It's got to be verbal. It's got to have with meaning.
You have to bring your parents in, probably.
Right. Has many creative thoughts on that subject. Here's Duncan. So the Spurs now lead 69-46 with a minute gone by in the third. Finley for three, yes. Michael Finley from downtown. Down to 6 of 17 from beyond that three-point line. Spurs just 1 for 7. Jackson finding Robinson. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig.
Well, Marv, some people may be criticizing Joey Crawford for ejecting Don Nelson in the first quarter of a playoff game, but I talked to Joey at halftime. He said that his job as approach to officiating does not change, whether it's a regular season game or the NBA Finals. He said, my job is to do the same, no matter what game it is. He said, the first technical, he deserved. I told him to sit down. He said, no, he tried to shut me up, so I ejected it. And as for Joe Harris, he wanted to get thrown out. He even told me he did, and he came out on the court. So it was an easy decision. Carol?
All right, thanks, Craig. What a sequence defensively for Dallas, leading to that fast break bucket. You guys agree with what Joe Crawford had to say?
Well, I agree with the refereeing part that it's similar but not the same because the stakes are so much higher. As we see Nowitzki knock it down, the stakes are higher for both teams. And I just think it's not about showing up an official. It's about having it called in a fair and impartial manner, which he does very well. But I just don't like ejections. I just don't.
Jackson. And a loose ball foul is on the Spurs. That's 3 on Duncan.
Tim Duncan has had a number of offensive rebounds. He's long, he keeps his arms up high. This time he tries to reach up over the top, but gets a little bit too much body that time, reaching in for the second shot attempt. Jeff, you mentioned it's not about showing up, and I agree with you 100%. How is a coach supposed to get his message across if he's not happy with the way the fouls are going? Finley with the jumper off the foul line area and missing that one. How do you show the official your displeasure if you don't want to rant and rave and kick things and throw clipboards on the ground? If you just stand there, that's sending a message. And the official, I think, has to understand that to a certain extent.
Well, the problem is coaches haven't officiated and officials haven't coached, and neither one knows the dynamics and the pressures that the other one feels. There should be a new program
I knew that was coming.
Where coaches have to officiate and officials have to coach.
And I see.
No, but I'm serious about the idea that they don't understand. I don't think an official understands how one game can decide a coach's fate. Whether he keeps his job, where he loses his job, where a season can end. I just don't think they understand that, because if they make a bad call and have a bad game, there's no repercussions other than they know they didn't do a good job.
And I can see Jeff as the organizer of that annual summer seminar.
If you and I could broadcast it, it'd be like our big summer night classic that we did for Magic many moons ago.
Here's Finley putting the move on Bowen. So the Spurs now lead 74-55, and a timeout called by Greg Popovich, who is seeing reruns in his mind.
There's a timeout. You said force him to call a quick timeout. Well, they got him to do it, so now they go back into the huddle, believing they have a chance to still win this game.
TNT's exclusive coverage of the NBA Western Conference Finals is brought to you by Hyundai. When your car comes with America's best warranty, you win. And the Hulk. On June 20th, experience the incredible.
San Antonio Spurs have led by as many as 24. The Dallas Mavericks cutting into that lead. The NBA Coach of the Year, Greg Popovich, who late first quarter saw his good friend Don Nelson ejected, hit with consecutive technical fouls by Joe Crawford. And Don with the early trip to the dressing room. Now, back in March of 1994, as head coach of the Warriors, Don Nelson thrown out by Kenny Maurer, and his assistant coach, Greg Popovich, took over. And the Warriors went on to beat the Orlando Magic. Greg Popovich spending 2 years as an assistant under Nelson.
And Avery Johnson was the point guard. I'm sure we're going to give Avery the credit for that win, too.
Avery moving up on the coaching chain, although he is a player not on the playoff roster. That's a defensive 3-second call. But Don Nelson is gone. Del Harris is gone. Johnny Nelson is now coaching the team. This is a team that leads the NBA, I would say, in the history of the league in terms of assistant coaches. Steven Jackson over to hit the team. Let's go to Cheryl.
Thanks a lot, Marvin. I spoke to Donnie Nelson Jr. about the technicals in the first half. He said, look, it's the playoffs. Emotions and stakes are high. Our mistake was our guys got caught up in the officiating. The second half, he just told the big four, settle down, trust each other. It's one possession at a time.
Well, the Spurs trying to keep that possession alive, but Robinson had it slapped away. Nash not able to get into it, able to knock it down from three-point range. So the Mavericks making their way back with a three-point shot. Nash now with 8. It's a 75-58 San Antonio lead. It's down to 17. Parker fouled by Nash. And Parker will shoot 2. The Spurs have done the job at the line tonight, 28 of 31. You know, you look at the fouls called in the first half, 14 on Dallas, 11 on San Antonio, so that's certainly a close situation, but San Antonio went to the line 28 times and Dallas just 11.
You can't always rely on that, however, as a statistic that really holds strong value, because oftentimes one team gets into the bonus much earlier than the other team does. You wind up picking up a lot of extra free throw attempts. Then the other team picks up some fouls towards the end of the quarter, which makes the personal foul total look close to each other.
Yes, it's when the fouls are called. Nowitzki thought he was running through by Duncan. And here's Parker with Duncan ahead of the field. Parker takes all the way. There's the Tony Parker teardrop. Dallas tries to break right back. San Antonio able to get back defensively, and they'll jump it up. Jackson and Nash on a jump ball. And things are testing once again. Steve Nash, Steven Jackson being kept away by teammates.
This is nothing but two guys just playing hard. There was no need for anybody to react to this. The ball's on the floor. They get down after it on the floor. They're trying to wrestle it away, trying to cause a jump ball situation. The whistle is blown. Just walk away.
And the Spurs control the jump. They're falling open. Nowitzki with a rebound and a foul. It is on Nowitzki as Rose hit the deck, so that's number 4 on Dirk Nowitzki.
But see, right there is great officiating. Dick Pavetta called the foul. Nowitzki said something. Pavetta stopped, gathered himself, no technical, and then just took the ball out on the bounce. I think that's great officiating by Dick Pavetta.
Change on the call. Nowitzki complained, and the foul was called on Nash, not Nowitzki. So he remains with 3. Here's Bowen for 3. Here's Bowen with his second from downtown. Hit one earlier. 81-58. 6.5 remaining in the third. The French foul from behind by Jackson. San Antonio has had trouble holding on to leads in the postseason. They have blown second-half double-digit leads in 5 of their 13 playoff games coming into tonight, and 4 of those 5 games ended in defeat. Does that become a psychological problem for the team?
I don't think there's any doubt. You get it in your head that you've had trouble, particularly at the free throw line. And when you have a post player that's your number 1 option, many times it's harder to involve him late in games.
Nash kicks it out. Van Exel passing on the 3. Played tightly by Parker. Here's Van Exel. Nick Van Exel with a strong move. That's his first field goal. He had missed his previous 4. It's down to 19.
I know you have to be concerned about fouls, but will they go after Bowen now and start fouling him again to try and cause that momentum shift that they had in game number 1?
Although in this case, isn't it Dallas that has the momentum? Jackson from downtown.
No, it's San Antonio because of the 3.
All right, Nowitzki. Prior to the 3. Okay.
I'm trying to be accurate, that's all. Accuracy is all concerned here.
I know you live in the present. React to that particular 3, yes.
You know, that's where he's taken a page out of Phil Jackson's Zen book, is that he's living in the present. He doesn't look back and he doesn't look forward. He focuses in on right now.
Nowitzki now 4 for 4 at the line.
Well, the momentum is shifted back again. Nowitzki just made a free throw.
Spurs 84 and the Mavericks 64. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining third quarter. Game 2 of the Western Conference Final Series. San Antonio looking to tie it at 1 as they head back to Dallas for Game 3 on Friday. Shot clock down to 4. And pass off the mark. And Finley puts a move on Bowen. Has to give it up. An excellent Nash in the backcourt. Nowitzki, LaFrentz, and Finley up front. Bowen on the rebound. Van Exel not able to get going. That was the case Monday night in game 1. He was only 3 of 12 from the field. Foul is called on Rose. It's an offensive foul as he pushed Nowitzki.
You'll see Rose goes to set the screen. He's trying to move over towards the ball. Nowitzki put his body between the offensive man and the basketball and took the charge.
4 on Rose. Rebound is knocked away from Rose by Finley. Here's Finley for 3. Yes! Michael Finley from downtown. He now has 24. It's down to 17. San Antonio has led by as many as 28. We're coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the third. Here's Rose. Rebounded by Finley. In other circumstances, you say down to 17, and the reaction might be, you got to be kidding. But when you're talking about the Dallas Mavericks, they are alive in this ball game. Here's Rose on the steal. It counts for the foul.
The guy who did a great job on that was Malik Rose. He anticipated the throwback. He shot the gap, and then he finishes the fast break, taking it to the basket. Foul is called on Nowitzki. I'm not sure where the contact was.
And Rose, when he picked up his fourth, he lobbied Greg Popovich to stay in the game. Popovich decided to lead him in, and it paid dividends.
Three-point play for Malik Rose. Dirk Nowitzki now playing with 4. And the Spurs lead 87-67. And went behind the back, and he was fouled, blocked out by Parker. Fourth team foul on the Spurs. Second on Parker. It's a fourth team foul on the Spurs. Second on Parker. It's a non-shooting affair. Danny Ferry will check back in. Played briefly in the first half, and now Malik Rose will get a rest. 22 points for Rose.
It's a tough matchup right here. Ferry with Nowitzki on him. That happened the other night, and that's exactly what happened. Nowitzki took the ball, took Ferry right to the basket, scored 2 quick buckets in game number 1.
87-69 Spurs. They double up on Duncan. Off the steal. Here's Nash. Stopped by Ginobili. Finley. Back comes Parker. And as Duncan tried to establish position, he was pushed. Dallas over the foul limit. Duncan will go to the line. But first, a timeout call with 2:45 remaining in the third. A look at downtown San Antonio. And we'll be back here in the River City in a moment.
Spurs leading 87-69. Let's go back and look at the fast break that Dallas had, and they would have been a sure 2 points. Watch when the break takes off now. The ball winds up in Nash's hands. He starts to go off on the break, and at this particular, right there, he has the ball, and what he understands is that he has one teammate running the right lane, which he could give up. But he thinks also that with this man and his big man, Nowitzki, running, rather than deliver the pass ahead and take the sure 2, he tries to go for more and get 3. He loses control right there. It gives San Antonio a chance to regroup, and then instead of getting anything out of it, they wind up with Finley missing the jump shot. So perhaps the best move there would have been pitch it ahead, take the sure 2, rather than try and get a 3-pointer out of it.
I think too many teams now in transition think 3 instead of layup first. I think it has to go your priorities in transition. Layup, quick post up, and then the 3-point shot. For too many players, they're enticed with the 3 in transition.
Tim Duncan, 10 of 12 from the foul line. Had the 12 of 19, missing some key free throws down the stretch in game 1. Dallas has shot 10 of 16 here in the third quarter. San Antonio's been off to 6 to 15. 2.5 remaining in the third. Van Exel. Ginobili with the lob. Beautifully done. Manu Ginobili for Tim Duncan. 26 for Duncan. Finley goes to the crossover. Good job by the Spurs in cutting him off. Van Exel. Nick Van Exel able to break it down. Just under 2 to go now. Third quarter, Spurs 90 and the Mavericks 71. Duncan. Roger Bell starts back. The transition by San Antonio and a blocking foul charged to Ferry. That puts San Antonio over the foul limit.
I'm sure San Antonio is willing to take as many easy baskets as they can get. Ginobili always with his head up. Finds Tim Duncan running the floor. You lay it up there high enough, you know you have a big man with great hands and the ability to finish at the other end.
Walt Williams, only a 62% free throw shooter during the regular season. 17-point San Antonio lead. First half, Spurs had only 4 turnovers. They turned it over 7 times in this third quarter. Nice pass. Tim Duncan to Steven Jackson.
And since Duncan came was a poor passer when he first came to the NBA, and now he's an extraordinary passer to Cummings.
Roger Bell. His second field goal, 92. 75, San Antonio, a minute remaining in the third. Nowitzki playing with the 4 fouls. Duncan goes at him and scores.
When you think of how many times the ball winds up in Tim Duncan's hands, whether it's in the low post, whether it's out high, he becomes the decision maker so often for the basketball team.
Here's Finley. Nice save. Bell is on it. Van Exel passed on the 3. Ginobili back for the Spurs. Coming up on 20 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Parker.
He shot that too early again. That's the second time he shot it too early.
Final seconds of the third. Nowitzki spinning his way on Ferry, gives it up. Too much time with Finley with the 3, and it's waved off. They'll review it. Ted Bernhardt, the outside official, with a very quick call on that 3-pointer. Here's another look.
We'll see if it's out of his hands before you see those lights go on. It's on 0. There's the lights, and the ball's still clearly in his hands. Good call by the official.
Ted Bernhardt was on it immediately. They will review it. Right now, it is not being posted. San Antonio 94, Dallas 75 as we head to the 4th. Now look at the Majestic Theater in the heart of downtown San Antonio, home of the San Antonio Symphony, and we thank them for the blatant plug. Majestic Theater designed and built back in 1929. And a look at Hall of Famers John Hondo Havlicek, Bill Russell, and on the right, star of the ABA here with San Antonio Spurs, Artis Gilmore. As we head to the 4th quarter, that last second 3-point attempt that was waved off by Ted Bernhardt. They did review it, and it was ruled no basket.
And you said it, Ted Bernhardt called it immediately. You see the ball still in possession. Lights are on. Clock is at 0. Excellent call.
Speedy Claxton is back. Claxton and Ginobili now at the guard. Duncan, Ferry, and Bowen up front as this 4th quarter gets underway. Duncan around Nowitzki. Duncan gets to it, and then the ball taken out of his hands by Williams. They'll jump it up.
See how long Tim Duncan is when he comes in there. He basically gets those arms extended all the way out. And there you see the jump ball being called between Williams and Duncan.
Throw by Claxton.
Claxton did a good job of holding off Van Exel, who tried to steal the tip, shoot in front of him and steal it.
Spurs up by 19. They've led by as many as 28. Here's Bowen. That was a 2-point attempt, rebounded by Nowitzki. Ferry all over. Finley is looking for help. Shot clock to 6. Williams, nice crossover move. Will it count? Yes, it does. And the foul. Beautiful move by the Wizard. Walt Williams draws the foul on Duncan. That's 4 on Duncan.
Williams feels that if he can just get Tim Duncan to bite a little bit and come out of his defensive stance, then he can cross over, turn the corner. That time, a beautiful job of concentrating, taking the basket, and now going to the line for 3-point play.
Tim Duncan will sit down. Malik Rose is back. He's playing with 4. David Robinson returns. This is the closest the game has been in the second half. 16-point San Antonio lead.
And remember in game one, when Duncan went out, the Mavericks made a huge run. San Antonio's got to stay aggressive.
Mavericks looking for a jump ball, but a foul. John Finley, his second, and David Robinson go to the line. He is 2 for 2 at the line. 71% on the season. Robinson has played only 15 minutes tonight. Exclusive coverage of the Western Conference Finals will continue here on TNT Friday, Game 3, as the series moves on to Dallas, and coverage begins at 9 o'clock. And on Sunday, Game 4, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Roger Bell. Here's Walt Williams for 3. Back comes Claxton. In Game 1, San Antonio led by as many as 18. They led by 14 early on in the fourth quarter. Well, tonight they led by as many as 28. Now lead by 17. Claxton. Oh, there's a goal by Speedy Claxton. Nowitzki chased by Bowen. 20 points for Dirk Nowitzki.
Because Robinson came across the lane immediately. Once he saw Nowitzki with the ball, it took away the drive opportunity. Nowitzki has to stop, pull up, and shoot that little fadeaway.
Robinson going at Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki playing with the 4 fouls, and obviously it has affected him. Last touch by San Antonio. The Spurs continue to go at Nowitzki. Steve Nash checks back in, replacing Roger Bell.
Mark, this has been a bonanza free throw night for the San Antonio Spurs, taking 38 attempts and making 32, shooting 84% after missing 17 in game number 1. A nice drop-down pass by Nowitzki. Finley on the foul line for 2. On the other hand, you've got Dallas, who shot 50 free throw attempts in game 1. They've only taken 16 right now. And what made the 50, Marv, so surprising in game number 1 is this is a jump shooting team who during the regular season, when they combined all 4 games against San Antonio, shot 70 free throw attempts in all 4 games, so they got 50 in game 1.
And 49 of 50 the other night was one of the best free throw shooting performances of all times. You go back even regular season play, 10 teams have been perfect, but not with the high volume of free throws that we saw on Monday night. Utah once had a 39 for 39. Indiana 3 years ago, 40 of 41. But records on consecutive shots, be it free throws or field goals, are difficult to track down through the years, according to the Elias Sports Bureau.
I thought you asked Jeff to check that out. You up there?
Malik Rose is fouled, a hard foul. Rafe LaFrance called on the personal.
Here they run a little pick and roll. Ginobili makes a nice little pocket bounce pass. Rose takes it to the rim and was fouled, and he's back at the line.
That's 5 on Fretz. But for whatever reason, remember we had the playoff game in Boston where the Celtics reeled off 14 consecutive shots. They were not able to track down.
Field goal attempts we're talking about in that particular game.
They were not able to track down whether that was a playoff record. You have to go through all the play-by-play sheets and go way back.
It's not a good intern job where somebody with each program, all 29 teams, assign someone to do that for the year. Go through every play-by-play for all the years.
Gar assigning a job to some intern out there. All interns. All right, here's Van Exel for 3. It's down to 14. And lots of time remaining.
And it was 14 with 8 to go in game 1 as well. So they're right back where they were in the previous game.
Nice move by Rose. Oh, what a fake. Malik Rose. Around Walt Williams. 101-85. Van Exel. Around Walt Williams. 101-85. Van Exel. Tried the teardrop. 3 of 11 shooting for Nick Van Exel. Claxton finding Rose. Now Rose draws the double. Here's Ginobili. Off the fake, has to give it up. 1 on the shot clock. Finley racing down and lost it. Ginobili got a hand on it. Ginobili in the open floor. 2 Mavericks back. Ginobili. Yes. Mavericks take a timeout.
Malik Rose makes a great back to the basket move, and he's off the lane a couple feet. And the reason why it's open is Dirk Nowitzki had just left the low post area. It opened up the opportunity for Rose to spin on Williams and finish it with the dunk.
Saturday night on TNT. Defending the law has never been this dramatic.
You find it. Here's where it is, right here.
We beat them down. See Will Smith and Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys. Saturday night at 8 on TNT.
Gives me a rush.
Well, San Antonio has it back up to 18. One of the reasons that they've been able to maintain this lead has been the turn by Malik Rose, who played only 10 minutes in game 1 and suffered that injury, but he's come back strong here tonight.
I think both coaches said the key to this series could be Malik Rose. Look at game 1. All you got to do is slide over a little bit, and you see what an impact he has had here in game number 2.
Malik knee on the back of the head, accidentally by Eduardo Najarra, was not pulled. Also suffered a sneaker in his back. Tim Duncan checking back. Yesterday, Malik cleared to play after undergoing an MRI. Seven and a half remaining on the 4th. Van Exel for Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki from downtown. 103-88. Nowitzki picked up 3 fouls over the first 7 minutes and has been able to hang in, picked up a 4th later on. Now Nowitzki defending Duncan. Finley with the rebound. And Exel puts the move on Ginobili. Bowen guarding Finley. Shot clock down to 6. Williams for 3, comes up short. Williams gets to it. Popovich staying with Speedy Claxton. And he was blocked by Steve Nash.
And Claxton has played very, very well in both games. Offensively, he's not a shooter, but he's penetrating, he's pushing it, and he's doing a nice job defensively.
Well, Steve, I was just going to say, defensively, he's made some real good things happen. He gets his hands in, he comes up with some strips and steals, and he's done a good job on all that dribble handoff stuff that Dallas likes to run.
13th foul on the Mavericks. Ginobili. Wait for Prince, who just checked back in for Walt Williams, able to rebound. LaFrance from Nash. It counts, and the foul. It's a blocking foul. Number 5 on Rose.
The idea is to see now if the defensive player can get outside that dark line, the restricted area. You see his right foot looks like it's still on the restricted line, so it was a block.
But it doesn't matter in that case right there because he caught it in what's known as the lower defensive box, which is 1 step off the lane. So the ball's caught one step off the lane or in towards the basket, all the defender has to do is be set and take the charge. So I'm not sure whether Dick Clavetta called the block there because of the restricted line or because he didn't feel Rose was there in time.
At 11-4, Dallas runs. It's a 12-point differential with 6 minutes to play in the fourth. The Spurs have led by as many as 28. Shot clock to 6. Curry rejected by Nowitzki. And here comes Van Exel. And Greg Popovich has seen this movie before. Van Exel for Nash. Finley for 3. Yes! San Antonio wants to talk it over.
Starts with defense, and Danny Ferry's left in a tough situation, having to get a shot off, plus the clock is on its way down. Dirk Nowitzki, 2 big formers right there to challenge it. Penetrate, hold your spot ups on the outside, make a cross-court pass, hit a three-pointer. Timeout, San Antonio.
Back in San Antonio, here are tonight's Bud Light headlines. First of all, Reggie Miller of the Indiana Pacers had successful surgery on his ailing right ankle. Danny Ainge has extended head coach Jim O'Brien's contract with the Celtics.
Sources close to the negotiations tell me that now Jim O'Brien has 3 years coming at a nice number. Danny Ainge opened up the purse.
What do you mean sources? You have to reveal sources.
Right, is this Watergate and Deep Throat, or is this basketball?
I'm not allowed. And the Pistons coming back.
As they overcame an 11-point fourth-quarter deficit. New Jersey did, taking a 2-0 lead. Game 3 tomorrow night at the Meadowlands. Bowen is run into by Nash. Mavericks with their 4th team foul. We're down to 5:24 remaining in the fourth. San Antonio has led by as many as 28. The Mavericks have cut it to 9, and they have done it with 3-point shooting. A 14-4 run by Dallas. They've hit 11 of 27 from downtown. Malik Rose sitting down after picking up his 6th. Tim Duncan, 30 points for Duncan, who's playing with 4. Dirk Nowitzki playing with 4. As is Steve Nash. Van Exel. Nice move. It counts, and the foul. Boom. Call for the foul, and Van Exel will go to the line. Van Exel has not been able to find the range from outside, but he's been very successful penetrating.
And you see the contact on the head at the end by Bowen. Van Exel likes it because he knows he's got them right back there with the possibility to still pull this thing out. Bench is involved here. And I like what Popovich did coming out of the timeout, Mark. He took his best guy, Duncan, and he said, you go stop their best guy. We need to get stops on Nowitzki because that's who they're going to go to.
Now to an 8-point San Antonio lead. Jackson pops it out from Parker. Just under 5 remaining in the fourth. LeBron's able to break it up.
And that's a very poor passing angle to enter the ball into the post. Parker was above the free throw line. The French was three-quartering. He's got to use his dribble to create a better passing angle.
Take the ball with the right hand, down, break the foul line, get below, then enter it into the post.
Now Ginobili replaces Bowen. 8 on the shot clock for the Spurs. Shot clock to 5. Duncan. Once again, Nowitzki not able to react in normal fashion. Did not want to pick up a 5th. 10-point San Antonio lead. Van Exel for 3. Duncan with the rebound.
You know, Mark, it's hard to really appreciate how good Tim Duncan is. Whether it's a good pass, a fair pass, a bad pass, he makes the catches, and then he converts the basket for his teammates.
Jackson, trying to go left. Van Exel for Finley ahead of the field. Good play by Ginobili, and Parker getting back to slap it away. Dallas ball with 4 minutes remaining on the fourth. San Antonio Spurs looking to tie the series at 1. Nowitzki shot blocked by Duncan. Here's Parker racing, turns LaPrince around. Beautiful move by Tony Parker. Dallas calls for time.
Nowitzki comes off the screen on the out-of-bounds play. He's decided he's going to shoot a quick jumper. That tells you how long Tim Duncan is. He recovers and blocks the shot. And then Duncan moving into the defensive man, clears space, and finishes the reverse layup.
Here's a look at tonight's Lamisil Lessons in Footwork.
And it's Tony Parker off on the fast break. I'm not sure if it should be Tony's footwork or the way he turns Ray LaFrance around at the end. Some fancy footwork by the offense and by the defense.
15 points for Parker. Tim Duncan, the high point man, with 32. Michael Finley leads Dallas with 29. Dirk Nowitzki with 23. Spurs have led by as many as 28 points. Dallas got it with an 8. Now a 12-point game with just under 4 minutes remaining. Excellent Nash at the guard. Nowitzki, Williams, Finley up front. Duncan switches off. Here's Nowitzki from way downtown. Good hands by Jackson. Steven Jackson able to handle it. Parker asked for the pick. Now Rose cuts down low. Duncan being played by Williams. Rose facing up. No call made on that contact. Duncan with the shot clock running down. And here comes Nash. Van Exel pulls it up for 3. Yes! Van Exel from downtown. So the Mavericks trail by 9.
Well, remember earlier we said Nash didn't pass it ahead to Van Exel. That time he gave it up, the result, a three-point shot.
And it all started with another bad San Antonio possession late in the game.
2:40 remaining on the fourth. Ginobili with 1 on the shot clock. A huge bucket from downtown by Manu Ginobili. Van Exel rebounded by Jackson. Spurs by 12 as they approach 2 minutes to go in the fourth.
Van Exel just picked up his dribble, 1 dribble early, couldn't make it to the rim where he wanted to get to.
Jackson down to 2-1. Well, the Spurs able to use the clock down to 1:56 remaining in the fourth.
And they did that on the last 2 possessions. Ginobili hit a 3 off a great inside-out pass by Duncan, and then Steven Jackson made the right play. Showed the shot, drove it into the heart of the defense, and just missed a makeable 8-foot jump shot.
You can see that Dallas has a full and a 20 left. Spurs 2 full and a 20 timeout left.
Nash was trying to draw the foul. Now the foul on Van Exel. That puts Dallas in the penalty.
Nash trying to find the seam to get into the heart of the defense to see if he can draw somebody to him. Instead winds up taking the off-balance shot.
And that was an excellent no call right there. The offense generated all the contact there. Tony Parker did a good job pulling his hands back and not fouling an off-balance 1-foot runner by Nash.
And the Spurs hitting their free throws tonight. They started out 24 for 24. They tailed off slightly. 10 of the last 18. They lead by 14. Nowitzki mishandled. Oh, Ginobili kept it alive, but the ball back to Dallas. The crowd applauding the hustle of Manu Ginobili, who a moment ago was able to hit from beyond the three-point line, a critical shot. Van Exel Once again, the Spurs will try to use that 24-second clock. And then away from the ball, Joe Crawford closes the 24-second clock. And then away from the ball, Joe Crawford blows his whistle. In a discussion now with Dick Pavetta. Now walks over to the scorer's table. And he's calling a foul away from the ball, but usually long discussion regarding that play.
And that's the type of foul that we were talking about in relation to Bruce Bowen. They grabbed someone, I'm not sure who, but on that foul below 2 minutes, San Antonio gets one shot in the ball, and San Antonio picks the shooter.
You're looking down in the corner. Right there under the basket, you'll see them grabbing a player away from the basketball, intentionally taking the foul. Joe Crawford raises the hand. That's why when he went over to Greg Popovich to the table, Joe Crawford said, who do you want to shoot the free throw?
Greg LaFrance on the foul. He is fouled out. We're down to a minute 23 remaining. Well, we have LaFrance with 6. He's on the floor. And a foul called on Finley. So Parker will go to the line. Now we're told it was Nowitzki who may have called for that foul on Rose. Let's see.
Down below, there's Dirk Nowitzki grabbing Malik Rose on the bottom.
So the Spurs with a 117-100 lead. Nash tripped up. And that puts San Antonio in the penalty. So for the Dallas Mavericks, another comeback effort. This one will fall short, but they provide a scare to the San Antonio Spurs. They're led by as many as 28, but the Spurs able to rally down the stretch. A 12-3 run that will preserve a victory. Michael Finley will sit down. He's with 29. The Mavericks were able to get within 8 points. It was 105-97. And then San Antonio went on that run. Remember the three-point play by Nick Van Exel with just under 5 to go, and it was down to 8. Nash with the steal, chased by Ginobili. Nash rejected by Ginobili. Jackson wisely pulls it back. Under a minute remaining in the game. The San Antonio Spurs on their way to evening is best of 7 at 1 apiece. Parker rejected. And Nash pops it down to Bell. Time Ginobili let him go. Did not want to pick up a foul. Stop the clock. 117-104. We're down to a half minute remaining. This crowd on its feet. Here at the SBC Center in San Antonio, they are delighted that the Spurs are able to get back into the series. Stephen Jackson down to 15 seconds. Here's Bell. It will be San Antonio ball. Seconds remaining. Game 5. Really Game 3 in Dallas on Friday night. Game 4 in Dallas on Sunday, exclusively here on TNT. Greg Popovich has to be breathing a sigh of relief as he was watching the Mavericks make their way back into this.
That's a violation.
Yes.
On a spot throw-in, you cannot move along the baseline. Danny Ferry forgot. He didn't realize that. He thought it was after a basket where you can run the baseline. Instead, it was a spot throw-in situation by Danny taking a step on the baseline. It's a violation.
I'm really disappointed Ferry's former coaches like Mike Fratello didn't teach him the rules of the game.
Traveling violation on Ferry. Rafe LaFrance. 5 seconds to go. The San Antonio Spurs defeat the Dallas Mavericks. 119-106. San Antonio, the highest scoring game in the postseason. A happy Tim Duncan leading the way, 32 points, 15 rebounds, 3 blocked shots. Malik Rose off the bench with 25. Tony Parker had 19. Stephen Jackson with 17. Michael Finley, high man for Dallas, with 29. Let's go to Craig with Tim Duncan.
Well, Tim, this time the Dallas comeback fell short. What was the difference? What better decisions did you guys make tonight?
Continue to attack. Our second halves have been kind of shaky throughout the entire playoffs. We stopped attacking. We get some leads and we kind of play it safe. We attacked the whole way through. Defensively, we were solid. Didn't give us many open shots, and just played out the second half much better.
It's a disturbing trend for you and your teammates and your coaching staff. It makes for dramatic TV for us. But mentally, what happens when you see a 28-point lead go down to 8? What are you guys thinking?
We're still up 8. So we keep on playing through it. Luckily enough, we hit some shots down the stretch and kept it safe.
Offensively, you led the way as you usually do, but defensively, when they needed some big baskets, you guarded Nowitzki. What do you do against him defensively?
Great shooter, just trying to stay in front of him. He can really put the ball on the ground, really get to the basket, contest his jump shot, and then leave it at that.
And if Danny Ferry would have gone to Wake Forest, would he have known not to travel and run?
Absolutely not.
All right, thanks a lot. Thank you, Buck.
All right, thanks, Craig. Tim Duncan has become the first Spur since the Iceman, George Gervin, back in 1978 to record at least 3 consecutive games of 30 or more points in the playoffs. Had 40 in Game 1 and follows it up with 32. This series is all tied at 1 as they head to Dallas. We'll be there Friday night and Sunday night for Games 3 and 4. Thanks to our producer, Scooter Bertino, director Renardo Lowe, our statistician, Brian Taylor, and the rest of our crew. Next, it's Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai. For the Czar, Mike Fratello, Jeff Van Gundy, Greg Sager, Cheryl Miller. This is Marv Albert saying good night from the SBC Center. The San Antonio Spurs 119 and the Dallas Mavericks 106. They're all even at 1. We'll take a short break and then send you to Ernie Johnson for Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai.